This is part 2 of Elvis's last 24 hours.
Only one with keys to the kingdom. You might try, but can't beat them. King. Rappers really need a new thesis. I'm here now, get new leaders. Calling me king.
What's happening? Yeah, big bro, King Blitz checking in one time for the one time. Welcome back, kings and queens, to the kingdom. And if you're joining us for the first time, truly hope it's not your last. Because we are the ANRs, and that means we decide what's hot and what's not. And super simple to join us. But if you're watching this video, you're already a part of the community. Last 24 hours of Elvis, we reacted to part 1. This is part 2. And yeah, I told y'all after we get to 100 likes, which we are well over that now, we are going to get to it. So let's do what we do.
Now the old man, Parker, is going to see what's going on here. He's going to see how bad, the bad shape Elvis is in. And he's going to do something about it. I mean, he can't allow this to go on. It's inhuman. 90 seconds later, the door opened up. Colonel Parker walks up to me and stands and I get up. We stand toe to toe, and he stares coldly into my eyes. He says, "Now you listen to me. The only thing that's important is that that man is on stage tonight. Nothing else matters."
Man,
nothing.
That's sad, man, to be treated like basically a puppet.
There's a lot of them. I can't think of any right offhand.
I like to live up to my reputation of being a nice guy. This is it, folks. Beautiful, baby.
While committed to a hectic touring schedule at the behest of the Colonel, and with mounting financial and physical problems, Elvis and his mafia had become more and more isolated from the real world.
Well, I knew over the years Elvis was very isolated from the outside world. We didn't know what was going on in the outside. We very seldom read the paper. We watched a lot of sports, a lot of TV shows. We didn't hardly watch the news. We were very, very much hidden from everything going on the outside.
We lived.
I mean, I bet I would, after everything that he had been through, and just all the work that he had put in at that point, yeah, I would say he deserved some time to kind of sit back and do nothing and live some life and to himself and just figure out who he was at the time. I don't think that's a bad thing. But it's just sad to what drove him to like this point.
Hidden from everything going on the outside.
We lived in an insulated world within our own group. And our group, I mean, somebody said that Elvis really never left his bedroom. Well, he didn't. Elvis would get on his airplane bedroom and go to a hotel bedroom and would go from a hotel bedroom to his Graceland bedroom.
Elvis, over the years,
Wow.
every once in a while, he'd get like that. He'd go to his upstairs, and he might spend a week or two and not even show his face. But that was only like a week or two. Now we're talking about months, you know.
10 p.m.
I mean, could you blame him? But I guess right here is around the time where it was very, very detrimental to his health, because you hear him say he was going through a series of health issues and physical problems.
Week or two. Now we're talking about months, you know.
10 p.m., August the 15th, 1977. The guys were assembling in Memphis for what would prove to be one tour too far. By the mid-70s, Elvis's drug habit had become a serious threat to his life.
In 1975, what I had been seeing a little bit of the previous year or so was getting worse, and I was very concerned about his health. It wasn't like it had been before when he was taking the uppers and the sleeping pills. When he started experimenting with the down stuff, that's when we started getting concerned, all of us, not just me. The down stuff is like Demerol and things like that, pain medication that brings you and lets you down and you kind of just float, you know. Dilaudid is like a synthetic, and it's 5 times more powerful than pure morphine. Mostly given for cancer patients, terminally ill cancer that just couldn't handle the pain. But see, in his mind were not illegal drugs. These were prescription drugs. Now,
Wow. Wow, man. Just make me ask, who? I know he was Elvis, and I know a man is gonna do what a man is gonna do, and you have to want to change, but nobody could have sent him to rehab. But that goes to show you that they didn't care. They only cared about making money. And the sad part is, the ignorant part about it is, I'm sure some of them was sitting there thinking to themselves, he's probably worth more alive. I mean, dead than alive. When it was coming to the end, instead of man, this man was just treated inhumanely.
Were not illegal drugs. These were prescription drugs. Now, the doctor's writing them for him. He's abusing them, but they're not illegal drugs in his mind.
I got a call from Elvis saying, "Jerry, can you help me?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, I'm on the floor, I can't get up. And I said, "Who's there?" And he said, "Nobody." So I ran downstairs. I don't know what car I got into, whatever. Went to the doctor's house, and sure enough, Elvis was there. This was a proud man. And, he was even proud around us. And this broke my heart. And he was on the floor. So we picked him up, put him in bed. His legs really just wasn't working. I was hurt, I was angry, and I waited downstairs for the doctor to come in. And I said, "What the hell is going on?" He said, "What are you talking about?" And I told him what I'd just gone through. And he said, "Well, this liquid diet, and we're not giving him any drugs, we're just giving him placebos." And I threatened the doctor. I said, "If I ever see this man in this shape again, I will go all the way." I go upstairs, and Elvis is on a stationary bicycle. He's going full speed. She probably hadn't been out of the bed in 4 weeks, right?
That's sad.
Charlie doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know about my meeting with the doctor and everything. And damn it, Charlie, when you get your medical degree, you can start telling the doctors how to treat me. And he was furious.
Elvis took drugs because he liked them.
Wow. I mean, nobody's perfect. Everybody had they pros and they cons, they goods and they bads. Everybody had their own demon, so to speak. And for the most part, a lot of times our demons is usually what leads us to our demise. And I'm just going based off of what I'm learning through here. I haven't personally went and did. I wasn't there. I don't know nothing. I'm just going based purely off of what I'm hearing from this, not off of my own personal research or anything like that. So I don't want y'all to think I'm responding in a way as if I just know everything. I'm just going off of what I know. I'm ignorant, just kind of on the outside looking in, letting you know what I see.
Treat me, and he was furious.
Elvis took drugs because he liked them. There was everybody thinks that there's some sort of supercilious situation where he would develop this thing of trying to escape.
None of the guys were in any doubt. The drugs and ensuing health problems had changed Elvis both mentally and physically. Elvis had not been in good health for some time, and many of his physical problems were caused by his diet. Elvis had eaten typical Southern cooking all his life, mostly fried and deep-fried and refried dishes, a diet certainly not conducive to good health.
Yeah. He would eat crisp bacon, sliced tomatoes, mashed potatoes and gravy, and sauerkraut, believe it or not, and mix it all together and eat it, and loved it. And Elvis would eat stuff till he got tired of it, and then he wouldn't eat anymore. So he got off of it. The last year of Elvis's life, he went back to eating mashed potatoes, sauerkraut, sliced bacon, sliced tomatoes. Bacon, sliced tomatoes, very crisp. And I said, "You know what you're doing here?" "What do you mean?" I said, "You're back. It's the way you used to eat in 57. He said, "Never thought about that."
Elvis had a lot of physical problems that were really eating away at him. He had glaucoma. He had hypertension. Do you know that every night after a show, his blood pressure would shoot up to 180, 200 every night? And that's a tremendous strain on the heart. Elvis had a spastic, twisted colon. I can't tell you the problems that plagued him because of it.
Wow. And he still went on and just put on shows despite? Respect.
I can't tell you the problems that plagued him because of it. He also had his blood sugar that was a little too high. His body would start to get bruises on his leg. One night we were on tour, he tripped and fell down the stairs at the back of the stage and twisted his ankle. And he had a very difficult time after that moving on stage.
Midnight, August the 15th, 1977. Waiting for the tour to commence, the guys knew Elvis was unhealthy, but they still believed nothing could touch or hurt him.
August 15, 1977, I flew in from Los Angeles getting ready to do a tour. That next day, we were supposed to leave for Portland, Maine. And we were sitting around the kitchen talking, and Elvis was upstairs with Ginger Alden's girlfriend at the time, and Billy Smith was there and his wife, and they leave. We just ate dinner, the guys, a couple of guys sitting around talking about tomorrow, what we got to do. I call upstairs, and I say, Elvis, I'm here, anything we need, anything I should know about, anything you need for tomorrow, and he was fine. He seemed very well.
3 or 4 o'clock, I don't remember exactly what time it was, but he called out at the house, and he said, would you and Joe come out, and me, you, and Joe and Ginger go down to the racquetball? I said, sure. So we met there about
4:30 a.m.? Oh, yeah, well, that makes sense, because I do remember y'all telling me that Elvis was a night owl. He liked to go out and do his thing at night.
And me, you, and Joe and Ginger go down to the racquetball? I said, sure. So we met there about somewhere around 4:30, I guess. And it was Joe and Ginger, and then Elvis and Ginger, and then me and Joe, and then me and Elvis. And then time it got to me and Elvis, well, it done got down to silliness. It was no longer a racquetball game. Though we were getting exercise, we were trying desperately to see who can nail the other one with a ball, And then he finally swung so hard he missed, and he hit himself on his shin. And that ended the game right there. He went complaining about it hurting. So I raised his pants leg up there, and I looked at it, and I said, it's not bleeding. I said, it can't be hurting. Then he got into a kind of a melancholy mood. He went to the piano, and he was playing different songs for Ginger and us. And then that lasted maybe 15, 20 minutes.
That's dope that he was still Elvis and still enjoyed the craft of singing and loved his artistry, and to be able to do that, put on, that's dope. Like, you had a private show with Elvis, like, man, you lucky.
Music. It was as if Elvis was 21 again.
If near or far away, I'm always longing for the day, my darling, you are home to stay. I'd be lost without your love.
Wow, man.
And then we went back to Graceland. I went upstairs and I washed and dried his hair for him. And we talked in the bathroom. He even told me, he said, man, I'm going to try to make this the best tour ever, And he said, I'm going to try to go to sleep. I said, okay. I said, you need me, I'll be at the house, And I assumed he was going to bed. His mood swings were more frequent. Elvis Presley was always an upbeat person. He really was. And I guess that's one of the things, boy, that made you, like to be a part of that, because he was. And then to see him have these mood swings, more frequent, and it was scary, it really was. And I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it at all.
I would say that Elvis started slipping after he accomplished that feat of the 1.5 billion people watching him live from around the world on that satellite show. From that point on, I would say it was just a slowly slide.
1.5 billion. Ho, ho, ho. You can put every celebrity together right now on the stage and probably won't be able to generate that many views. Golly. Whoa.
So from that point on, I would say it was just a slowly slide. No up and down, just slowly slide.
I tried not to let his moods a lot of times affect my moods. If I did, we were both in the pits of hell at that time, literally. And so therefore, when I thought he was down, I was going to try to be up. And when he was up, I was automatically up. I mean, I was in tune to him. But it was difficult. It was hard, you know. And you want to just say, God, man, you know, come on. It's not too late, you know. Get a grip in your life, you know, and get away from the drugs, you know. Don't use them. You don't have to. And take a little time off. Nothing's that impressing. You don't owe anybody anything. If you get rid of me tomorrow, and I told him that, and I meant it from the bottom of my heart, if you get rid of all these guys, they will understand. And if they don't, they were not your friends to start with. But take some time off. And he'd just look at me and say, I can't. I owe too much to too many people.
We lived a wild.
Man, that's sad. And did he have any bad habits outside of like drugs that created debt for him? Because I mean, I know that the colonel, or how you say his name, was using practically Elvis to fund his whole life and fund his debt, so to speak. But was that like mismanaging money? Like, I don't fully understand just yet.
Can't. I owe too much to too many people.
We lived a wild and fast life in those matter of years that he was on Earth. So, like that song, you know, he did it his way. I'm not giving the song any credit, but I wish he would have changed and did it our way, but he did it his way. We could talk to him at times. He'd sit and agree.
Wow, and I literally just reacted to that.
He'd say, yeah, I'm going to change my life. Yeah, I'm not ready. I'll do it when I'm ready to do it. And we all had that hope because the last vacation in March of 1977, we all went to Hawaii. We had a great time. He was in a great mood. He was out there on the beach having a good time. He was overweight at the time, but he was smiling. We thought, hey, this is a good chance. You know, he cleaned his act up for about 30 days or more. But then all of a sudden, boom, right back again.
At Graceland, Elvis now faced the grind and rigors of yet more performances, with the backup of his friends.
Man, they should have put that man, set him down, gave him some help. All his friends should have came together collectively. I understand that he had the power to fire them and get rid of them, as he said, but if they were his friends, that should be more, getting help for him should have been more important. Now, I don't want to say it's everybody's responsibility for this man. You know, you're responsible for yourself. Ultimately, believe that. However, I also don't want to be a codependent. You know, I mean, a co-defendant to watching you spiral downhill. I don't want to witness that without trying my best to help you climb out of that.
None of them were happy. Elvis's decline had accelerated.
When I see him on stage performing in the manner that he started performing there at the end, where he wanted to do the best show he could, but with what he was,
Nothing left.
where he was at, he was really burning, and the light was getting dimmer.
I must say, this is painful for me, that when Elvis came on stage. He gave such a I mean, the guy, whoever has not seen Elvis live has missed the greatest entertainer of the 20th century, the greatest star of the 20th century. But when I saw him, my heart sank because I knew that something was wrong. I could see it in his eyes. I saw it in his face. I said, he can't last like this another 5 years.
We were all very frustrated. But we all could do, only thing we could do is that. We can't, he's 42 years old. You can't force this man to do anything. You know, people say, why did you guys have him committed? How could I have him committed? He's 42 years old. I can't have him committed. His father couldn't have him committed. You know, you can't prove he's crazy. Your hands are tied. Your hands are tied.
I didn't lay back in the later years. That last year and a half, I didn't lay back. I said what I wanted to say.
That's good. That's good, man. I'm happy to hear that they did stand up for themselves and stand up for what they felt was right.
The hell of it is, after all, I look back on it, it didn't do any good, you know, and that's what hurts more than anything.
6 a.m., the 16th of August, 1977. Elvis was restless. He told Ginger he was going to read in the bathroom. 2 p.m., the 16th of August, 1977. Ginger went to the bathroom to check if Elvis was okay.
Got the
Oh, man. Whoa. Wow, man. This has been part 2 of Elvis's last 24 hours. That was intense. That was heartbreaking. This man really gave it all he had, and I mean, whether he was just stubborn, whether he owed people, whatever the reason, I mean, he was somebody who worked really, really hard. And just, it's sad when you hear these stories and all you can think to yourself is, man, all he had to do is this, or and it's so easy for somebody who's watching through a screen, you know, it's easy for us to say that when we're not the person or we're not there. It's easy for us to be on the outside and looking in and give our 2 cents, but I would like to believe that these brothers really did say what they needed to say and did the best that they felt that they could at the time. If y'all would like for me to do part 3, please let me know in the comment section ASAP. Much love to each and every last one of y'all. Y'all take care of yourselves. Kingdom. Oh, make sure you check on somebody today. Go do that. You never know what they're going through. For real. Kingdom.